Wash away the stress of your day in pure bliss. Creating your own oasis is as easy as taking a bath. Simply fill the tub and drop in a sublime CBD bath bomb from HempWorks, available in 6 indulgent varieties. Each bath bomb is infused with a unique pure essential oil and a full 30 milligrams of CBD. Violet Dreams, with the calming scent of lavender, providing an abundance of tranquility. Summer Submersion, where the fresh and earthy scent of lemongrass warms the heart and fills the soul with pure joy. Ocean Breeze, with sea salt to bring gentle ocean waves to your bathtub while soothing dry and rough skin. Citrus Seclusion, with the crisp and lush aroma of citrus oil for harmony and rejuvenation. Natural Oasis, where green tea oil and CBD harmoniously combine for a fulfilling sense of contentment. And Serene Soak, a calming combination of oatmeal, milk, and honey to make your skin touchably soft and smooth. Sublime CBD bath bombs from HempWorks.
Hi, I'm Victoria Reynolds with Fearless and Free TV. I wanted to share with you real quick what HempWorks has done for me. Now, I've tried several, actually numerous CBD products over the last couple of years out of curiosity to see if any of them actually work, because I'm already so high on life, if you will. And HempWorks products are the only ones that I've noticed a difference with. For me particularly, it's been the CBD with melatonin. I found that melatonin on its own doesn't do anything for me. Actually, I'm one of those backwards people. So melatonin tends to keep me awake. However, the CBD with melatonin has been great for helping me sleep. Also, the CBD with the curcumin has been great for navigating some pain that I have had for years in my neck and shoulders. And that has been helping as well. And I have to admit that I had taken myself off coffee, but I do like the HempWorks coffee, and I think it might also be because of the mushrooms that are in there. So I've really been enjoying my HempWorks products and also the other products that are on my daily choice, because I'm a big fan of some of their other products as well, such as the essential oils. So I wanted to share that with all of you. If you're curious and wondering if HempWorks actually works, in fact, it does. Until next time, get bold, be fearless, and live free.
And here we are, just like that. The magic of all this stuff. I am so excited to be here. I'm excited to have a very special guest, very, very dear to my heart, very, very dear to my heart. A kind, loving man, Reverend, and he laughs, Reverend Rob Lee. So nice to have you here tonight.
And it is awesome to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, let me tell you, Rob, and I got to share with everybody, because really, Rob is a humble man. He's a tarot with an attitude, kind of the attitude, you know, he's got a teddy bear kind of attitude. Really, it's a gruff little teddy bear, but he's still a teddy bear. And I just want to take a moment to tell you that my journey that started back in October, it started with a phone call to Jay well, it wasn't a phone call to Jay. It was an email to Jay in October. I just got sick of getting up in the morning and doing the landscape shit. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this. There's something else for me. There's something happening. Anyway, Jay was nice enough to talk with me on the phone, a gentleman, as Rob is a gentleman. And he was just so nice. And then a couple of days later, out of the blue, I get a phone call from Jay saying, hey, got a friend of mine, Rob. He wants to get his YouTube channel going and would like to know if you'd like to be part of that and do a live reading. And I'm like, yeah, I'm all about that. I never had a tarot read before, and was certainly excited about that. And so we did, and it was an amazing reading. And what Rob told me is now like fruition, but it's more than that, because Rob just didn't stop there. You know, I have to pull this up, Rob.
Okay. That was powerful. That was powerful.
But the deal is that I didn't know any. I started on my phone. I didn't have a computer.
You sure did.
I just did it on my phone. I did this kind of stuff. And Rob, I'm beside myself with joy and thanks and gratitude, because, you know, Rob gifted me a friggin' computer and said, you know, this girl has something to say, and you believed in me. And that's what it takes in a light worker community to you know, it's like, he didn't know me from Adam. I'm going to send this girl a computer. She has a job to do, and I'm helping her out. And this is the kind of gentleman that we're talking with tonight. So I just had to say that. Namaste, and thank you so much. And it's only just begun. It's
Kathy,
only just begun.
You deserve it. I'm always, your smile will light up a room, your energy. And you're right. Yes, I believe in you. I totally believe in you. And, you know, just thank you for keep on keeping on.
Rob, I believe in you, and I'm so excited to have you here tonight. And there's some things that I want to know about you.
Okay.
That you, I mean, you're like,
wait a minute. Let's scroll through the thing and see if my wife's listening before we, and if she is, just block her, okay? Because I have to tell the truth. All right. No, I'm only kidding.
So let's, I'll tell you what, before we get going, and let's look at a couple of, I always like to welcome folks. Good evening. The Tippinator, that would be Tracy. How you doing, girl? RevNet is with us. These folks are the lights of my life anymore. These are my best friends, supporters, love and light. I had to sign to this account. I love it. Hey, Bob. How you all doing? Hey, Ardra. Beautiful, beautiful people here. And we just, we're so excited. Bambi's Corner. Sorry I'm late. Hey, doing? We're trying to get everybody in here. Yeah. And there he is. Hey, Rob. There we got. So I was just singing with Eddie Money. Keeping on. Okay.
There you go.
That's it.
I see a lot of my Bangarang tribe in here. My barefoot Bangarang. That makes me feel good.
I think I'm part of that tribe too. So you know, when you do your show every day at 9 o'clock, Tarot with an Attitude, if you haven't caught it, when you do your show every day at 9,
yep,
you're in there and you pull them cards and you talk to people and you pull them cards. You pull these tarot cards. But what I want to know is first of all, you're a spiritual man, but you were brought up in what type of spiritual environment?
Oh my God. My dad, I guess when I was about 14 or 15, no, 16, was 16, decided he was going to become an independent, fundamental, Bible-believing Baptist preacher. And boy, that spun me on a dime. But I grew up in the church. I had been in the church. My mom had been very religious my whole life. My dad caught in late. So I had been in the church as long as I can remember. And it was the Baptist church. It was the don't go to the movies. You know the type of church I'm talking about, the hate and all of that stuff.
So, but they didn't preach love at all?
They did, but only that Jesus loves you, and all the sinners, that Jesus loves them. But I never got that we were supposed to love them. We're supposed to stay the hell away from them, Okay. So it was very, Bible Belt, Florida.
So what did you personally believe, Rob? What did you, in your heart, in Rob's heart of hearts, what did you believe was going on when you're 14 and 15 and you're listening to all this?
Well, some of this, again, and this is why I say awakening for people and finding new things can actually be very shocking and a shattering experience because it shakes you to the core about things we were trained to believe from childhood. So there were certain things that I was like, okay, I always had my intuition, but I just thought I was good at guessing stuff. I never could dive into any of that or anything, but people would ask me things. It wasn't until I got older, when I say older, when I started questioning, and I'm talking about late teens, early 20s. I was probably a dad. I was married with a child at 19 years old. So,
and were you doing did you go to the church routine thing? Because
oh my God, I lived there. It was my second address. Yes.
At that age, so you went to church. It
was just part of our routine. I have a very heavy music background, as you do. I grew up singing in the church. Doing all the choir, the directing, things like that. I've arranged music. I had 4 vocal music scholarship offers that I wasn't allowed to take because I had to go to Baptist Bible College, which was an unaccredited school, which, by the way, is where my wife got pregnant. So we won't even go into that. But gotta love those college girls, those Baptist Bible College girls. Yeah. So it's one of those things, Tara, with an attitude. I'm sorry, folks.
Please. I'm loving it.
And then I started listening to the things that they were teaching actually on a college level. And even at that point, I started scratching my head and I would go, okay. So I started formulating my own beliefs about Christianity in and of itself. I wasn't accepting everything that came at me, but I had been trained my whole life. If I denounce any of this, going to hell, God's going to hate me. A lot of us have been there. But it wasn't until
we're all going to hell for our own specific reasons.
That's it. We're all,
Well, you didn't do this. Well, oh my God, you're throwing tarot cards. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So the first time that came up many years later, when I got in, I was a police officer for about 15 years. And it was one of those things where the ambulance guys would call me and say, what kind of night are we going to have? I just had a knack for it. I could tell if we were going to get to play poker or if we were going to be running all night.
So let's back up just a little bit. When did you start get this? And when you say they asked you, how did they know to ask you? Like,
I started predicting things and not like, oh, let me predict. I would tell them, like, we'd sit down to eat and I'd get up and be like, y'all start putting your food up. We're fixing to get it. It's coming through.
So a feeling came over you?
Yeah. I could feel it and I knew what was going on. A couple times I predicted when people were going to die. And this was in my early 20s and as a police officer. And it came through me through the aroma of smell. The death. And they were alive when I met them and they were dead before morning. I smelled the death on them and still really had no idea what was going on other than I had a knack for knowing things.
So what does death smell like?
Oh, when you smell a dead body. All right. we might have some country people here that grew up. One of the most horrible creatures to clean if you're hunting is a rabbit. It is the nastiest smelling thing when you clean it. A human being, especially when it starts to decay and to burn or whatnot, it is a very staunch smell when you step in that phase of death. There were 2 or 3 times in police work where I was literally not permitted in my house, where I had to take my clothes off, pile them on the back porch. We would burn them, and I would like getting hit by a skunk. It stays in your nose. It's rough. Once you smell it, you never forget it.
So what you're saying is then these people were alive when you saw them, but you could smell that death?
Yeah.
As they weren't dead. But
No.
you smelled that. You smelled that.
They were alive and kicking, and I mean like literally not older people. 2 of them were younger people that were actually, I would say I was in my 20s. They were in their late 20s, early 30s. And they were in separate vehicles by 2 o'clock in the morning. One of them was drunk, and they had run into each other on a back road at about 90 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And they were best friends, and they wound up taking each other out in a traffic accident. This wasn't anything we were prepped for. Like, well, they've got cancer or something like that. That was this. And when I was talking to them, and it was in a parking lot. I remember it to this day. I smelled it, and I was just like, and when I stepped away, one of my buddies, I was like, how could you handle that smell? And he's like, what smell? He didn't smell it. And I'm like, man, they smelled like dead body. And he's like, really? And we were, both me and him were cutting them out of cars probably 4 to 6 hours later.
That's pretty freaky. So what do you think about that? What did that make you feel when you experienced that, and where did you think that came from?
I just thought I knew at that point. Bless you. I knew at that point that I was able. There were certain things that I could do and see, but I thought it was at random. I did not know what was really happening, so I started getting an idea of it. But then my wife was still heavily involved in the church. She was taking my kids to church. And I just kind of let that die because I didn't want, again, we're in the Bible Belt and was told anything having to do with any of that was of Satan, and all that stuff. So I just kind of, shoved it aside a little bit and let it go. My mom had it. And never would, as a Baptist preacher, she never would admit it because she could. I got it from my mom, or she had it, and never did anything with it. It's one of those things where everybody considered her very lucky. She could, if she was playing bingo, she was going to win, and she didn't play bingo too much because she had to go to DC to play bingo, where her sister was. Because my dad considered it, not of God and it's gambling.
Right.
You never played the lottery, that type of thing.
But did you feel within yourself though, because I call it a gift. Mm-hmm. Did you feel that it was a gift, or did you feel, or did you not, or like you didn't know what the hell it was?
I felt it was more of a talent. Okay. But that I could turn it off. And I didn't have anybody in my life to help me attune to it or to understand what it was. So it just lay dormant for many, many years.
And so what made you decide to look into tarot? And then I want to know a little bit about tarot itself.
Okay.
And where it came from and how the powers, the magic, whatever the energy, how it comes through. So I know that's kind of a 1, 2, 3 step question, but that's kind of where I'm going.
Okay. I didn't get into the tarot and into the metaphysical until I was in my 50s. And one of the things that I started waking up for was all I had was a GED at 50. I had made good money doing that because I had experience. At 50, I was knocking down probably about 80 grand a year with the GED in the call center game. They were sending me all over the country, all over the world, helping them establish and do call centers.
Okay, call centers.
Yeah, like where you call in, when you call into something and you get a sales rep, those people that are calling you all the time on the phone, you know, those are call centers. There might be 500 operators in a room.
And you set these things up all over the globe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And what the biggest thing was, I trained people how to talk to people. I trained people. And you know what was funny was I set records in a debt collection center by training people to be freaking nice. Okay. They used to call me Mr. Nice Guy because you're debt collecting. How dare you scream at somebody? They've already got your product. You need their damn money. Nobody's going to give you money if they don't like you. I don't. I'm just going to jerk you around on the phone for a half hour. Okay. So, yeah. So y'all can understand when you get the car people that your warranty is about to expire, I get even for everybody. It's okay because I know their game. I know their measurements. I know what they're tailed on. I'll get their supervisors on the phone when I have time. Okay. I jerk them back around in a circle. Some of that is fun to do, but the other thing is, remember, it's just somebody trying to do their job and get paid. So I stopped doing that a little bit because they're just doing what, you know, they're trying to do it, make a living like you and I are, you know. But yeah, so we did so good that the last time I came back, they went, Rob, we did so good, we sold the company. You're out of a job. And I went from 80-something thousand a year to working for 7-Eleven, a convenience store for those of y'all who don't have 7-Eleven. At $9 an hour. Okay. My oldest boy convinced me to go back to school. He's like, you can't get by on your experience anymore. Everybody needs, if you're going to make good money, they want to see the paper. You got to have the paper to prove you've done the work. So at 50, I went back to school full time with 3 boys at home and went to school for 7 straight years and got my master's degree in 2018 as a master's in social work, a clinical therapist and counselor. I'm in the process of state licensure now. Yeah. So in there is when I started exploring, and you had to keep an open mind. One of the things they taught you in this is keep an open mind to other people's religions. So I started paying attention and I fell in love with the world religions class. And I would go to different churches and I would study different religions. And all of a sudden I started going, this makes sense. This makes sense. That makes sense. I would make my own religion. Okay. I started doing my own beliefs. There's a lady that's on the show with me in the morning. A lot of times people will know them, Bridget Bruce. Bridget actually opened me up, a friend that I met again late in life, that opened me up to the metaphysical. And I knew I had a gift at that point and I needed to do it. And she took me and I bought my first tarot deck with her.
And why tarot?
Tarot is, I'm a pictures guy. Okay. Like if you want to tell me something, I'm going to ask you the same question 300 times. Okay. But once I got it, I got it. Okay. Like certain scripture. And I started realizing that I could talk to the same God my dad did. Okay. And ask the same questions. But instead of having a 3,000 page manual this big, I've got 78 cards with different pictures on them. And if I started listening and let the spirit talk to me, let God talk to me, let the angels talk to me, it's a picture. It's like trying to decipher a picture book rather than the Holy Scripture.
Okay, so
divination. That's exactly, yeah. It's divine.
So how does it actually work then? I mean, how do you know, and how are you sure? I mean, and I'm just asking this to put it in layperson's terms.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? How does it work?
It works different for a lot of people. If you ask and you read, it's kind of like saying which religion is right. People will argue over tarot cards, and it cracks me up about what you're supposed to do with them, the absolutes. It's funny, just like religion, people will once they start talking in absolutes, you have to do this. You always need to do this. You never do this. Right away, I'm going, you're turned off. Thank you. It's individualized, okay? Certain people think we're worshiping the cards. I do not. These are cardboard, okay? They're just cardboard, all right? But they're my tools, and I learn my tools, and I take care of my tools. What I do is when I sit down, and every morning when I start the show, before I start reading, I say a prayer. And my prayer will generally be very short, but it's Heavenly Father, Holy Mother. Ooh, I'm getting my goosebumps. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Angels, guides, spirits, dragons, fairies, fae, whatever you may be, you are a gift to us from the universe to help me understand these things. Please draw close, put your arms or your angel wings around me so that the message comes from you, not from me, to those that need to hear it. And I'll clap and say, so mote it be. Okay? So these are pictures. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decks sitting here. I don't do anything normal. Okay. And so when somebody asks me a question, I may sit here and be like, which deck? I'm relying on the spirit guides and the angels to tell me which deck to use, which ones, because all their pictures are different. They all have the same. Tarot decks are a very basic thing. They have a baseline principle of each card, but all the artwork is different. Everything is entirely different. So I can pick up a one of, or let's go with a different card, a 2 of swords in one deck and have a complete different picture and come up with a complete different meaning from a 2 of swords in another deck. I let the artwork speak to me. I let them, and the angels will tell me, hey, stupid, this is, you need this deck because this is where we're going. Okay.
They obviously then know the pictures in the deck that you're going to show.
They know what I'm going to do. They're spiritual beings. They're here. We're all spiritual beings having a physical experience. Okay. So yes, I assign them those divine powers. They're here for a reason. Okay. And they will help me. But the key thing is in that prayer, I open up and I allow them to talk to me and I start listening to my intuition. And a lot of times you've seen me when I read for you the first time, we'll pull a card and I might read through it 4 or 5 times. And what I'm doing is telling a story and letting them get to me and get the whole story. And then boom, out it rolls. Everything starts rolling out. For the longest time, I would never use the term psychic because I didn't want to label myself that. I was scared of it. So many people are using it. So many people are improperly using the term empathic, that I didn't want to do that. But another young lady by the name of Ken Dambert really reached out to me and she helped me grasp psychic intuitive. And that's what I am.
So I was just getting, so that's what you're a psychic intuitive.
Yes. And what's going on is as you get into it, you can develop more and more. My mediumship things, I'm starting to see people. I'm starting to see angels. I'm starting to see, I can get physical beings and start to see presence or even pick up on their presence when other people are here. But you've got to really be in tune to do it and to make sure, because it's hard, you start second guessing yourself and everything else. So the other thing, the biggest part of doing this, having confidence in yourself. You cannot do this and not have confidence.
I imagine. How do you get in tune? How would you like just, when you say you need to get, how do you keep in tune? How do you stay in tune? Because I know a guitar has strings, and if they're out of tune, it doesn't sound right. It's just not working, and it's and they slip a little.
But you know how you take a guitar to a gig, and every time before you go on stage, you're fine-tuning it, okay?
Right.
I tell people this, and you've heard me talk about that 20-minute challenge in the morning, okay? Get your ass up 20 minutes early, get your shower, get ready, but take some time to be alone. Take some time to set your intentions for the day. Take some time, no phone, no TV, no kids, no nothing. This is 20 minutes for you to sit there with your HempWorks coffee, just like I got now. Okay. If you smoke cigarette, okay? But that moment, start being quiet. We have to learn to be quiet and then start praying and say, it's a form of meditation. I need to open up. I need to make sure that I'm in tune and listening to you today. I'm never afraid. I can't say that prayer too many times in a day because it's something, it's taking it from your head and moving it to your heart. My daughter says in the show sometimes, if she comes in as a spectator, I talk about the head knowledge versus the heart knowledge. And she talks about that 18-inch gap from here to here. And when you can get stuff out of here and get it down here, it's powerful. It's powerful. We say we believe things, but a lot of times we don't truly believe them. You know, we want to believe them.
I'm all about that. I know what you're talking about. I know
Yep.
what you're talking about. And it's a challenge. It is a challenge.
It is a challenge.
And some people say it's hard, and it is hard, you know, but when you practice and you, it's just like working out, you know, working out is hard, but you know, thinking about going to work out is hard. You know, once you get out there and you go and do it, it becomes easier every day. And then it becomes a routine. And then it's not so hard anymore. It's actually part of your life.
Yeah. And you know, Kathy, another thing you said is just like, you know, when you log on and you may be tired, but you know you're doing a show. But then when you log on and you start seeing these beautiful people and they're here supporting you,
it's amazing.
That's like, it's like your church, okay, where you can go and worship. You can get reconnected. The same thing happens to me every morning at 9 o'clock. There are times I'm like 6 shows a week. I'm actually running 7 shows a week because Sherry Dibman and I do one at 8 o'clock on Sunday nights. And then the others are Monday through Saturday. I've got another great one coming tomorrow night with a young lady by the name of Rocky DeGotti. We're going to do, last time we did this, everybody watched me get kind of toasty because we call it wine, spirit and wine night. Bring your own beverage. My wife's actually posting her sangria recipe. When I come to the studio, she comes with me to make sure I get home. Okay. And she starts running all the producing the show so I don't have to do it because we'll start drinking. We're into tarot. She's a medium. We have a good time. But those are one of those things, like I said, those are things throughout the day. And I want people to understand it doesn't mean we don't get sad. It doesn't mean we don't get angry. It doesn't mean I don't absolutely get pissed off. Okay. But what it does mean is I have something on my shoulder tapping me going, hey, and I listen to it. You're out of control. Get your shit together. You're right. I'm putting bad words out there. It's one of those things. Words are power. Let me bring them back and start over and come at things with a different spirit. So it is. It's one of those things, just like going to the gym, where you start watching what you're thinking, what you're doing, and it helps.
I want to put this one up here. Kathy, have you heard that flowers and plants have meaning? There are some cards written with that in mind, like spirit animals, but flowers. Do you have flower cards, Rob?
Yes, I do. I didn't bring them with me tonight.
I was just wondering. I mean, I know you have like 1,000 decks of cards. I'm probably being probably more than 1,000. I don't know. But talking about tarot, and what do you do though? Because you are busy. You're doing these shows, but you're
I run a therapy practice at night. Yeah,
you run a therapy. Tell us a little bit about that, because that's healing.
Yes, I have another website that I don't talk about too much called Dynamic Life Perspectives. If you want to know more about my clinical side, what I like to do whenever I can is blend. I love it when the spiritual and science can come together. Okay. It just makes me so happy. I found out in dealing, I was a MAT team coordinator. I ran a MAT team, medically assisted treatment for an opioid clinic. Okay. And I had a very high success rate because I started bringing my tarot cards into addictions treatment. They've heard it all. They've seen it all. How many addicts do you know have been through recovery over and over and over? First thing, let me say, for anybody that's dealing with it, never give up, and don't y'all ever give up on them. You know, I'm kind of a big guy, and I'll say this, and I'm sorry, this is near and dear to my heart. The first time I tried the Atkins diet and failed, I didn't get a letter from the Atkins Institute saying, you can't ever try my diet again. Keep trying. That's what we need to do with addicts. That's what we need to do with people. And remember, we love them. Sometimes we have to stop enabling them, but don't ever give up on them, because you never know when this is the time that's going to stick. But I would combine this, and it gave them a whole new way to look at things. It opened things up. And a lot of times I would even take my oracle cards to a group, and they didn't even know what they were. They have yin and yang on them. They've got all this stuff. They thought it was all some Buddhist thing, you know, or whatnot. But next thing you know, they're listening and they're going. And I've got people that are on year and a half. I got a young lady that still sees me, and she's getting 2 years off of opiates next month. She's 2 years clean, doing awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So it is one of those things where once you believe it, getting out of the head knowledge and into the heart knowledge, and you start seeing it work for people, it's just one of those things. So I kind of got off there. So sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. That was not off at all. That's what you do. That's another thing that you do. That's why you're so busy, a man of many talents. And then, of course, Jay is always calling you for technical stuff.
Yeah.
And I have to tell y'all, some of my people know, look, are you guys, Rob fixed it. He fixed it. I can show you my planners. He told me how to fix it so it wasn't the green screen. Remember, it came up bricks. He's so busy, y'all. He's so busy that I had to schedule him for an interview for him to fix that for me.
That's funny. That's funny.
So, you know, if you've got any technical problems, just get him on the show for an interview. You can talk beforehand.
Yeah, get me on half an hour before and we'll work through it.
Taken. So, what do we have here? And I can't see.
Rabbits, how you doing?
We're gonna get snockered.
Rob, come on, it's great. She's really cool. You can look at Rocky's stuff is at darkerartsstudio.com. She actually, we have a ball together. I met her through my wife. She's an old friend of my wife. She's got front porch tarot that she does out of her house, but she's an artist too, and a psychic medium. She actually does artwork with human bone that she gets legally. And it's some of the prettiest stuff you'll ever see. So we'll be having it on the show Friday night, tomorrow night, 7:00 Eastern. So check it out. But, you were asking about the flowers. That's where I got lost. And somebody was,
my bad. Well, she had brought up the flowers, and then you didn't have the cards.
Yeah, everything has energy. That's why we use different sage to clean, lavender to attract, and to do different things. So yes, flowers are powerful, things like that. They're no different than crystals. Every living being has energy. Okay, almost everything has energy. Just like I've got my crystals all around me right now. A huge piece of amethyst. This is a Lemurian crystal, and they all do. I keep them close because of the vibration that's coming off of them, and it helps me stay in tune. And different crystals, just like different flowers, will help you with different parts of your crown chakra, your third eye chakra, your throat chakra, which is communication, seeing between the lines, and then understanding it. So yeah, don't take things for granted that you're walking around. You've been given so many gifts, folks, that you can grab. We did a show this morning. Make the magic happen. You know, we have the magic beaten out of us from being a kid. Grow up, grow up, grow up. That's all pretend. It doesn't matter. Magic's real. If you believe in a God that can heal, you believe in a type of magic. So that's what I look at. I want the magic. That was another thing you asked me. One of the reasons why I got aggravated at the church. Their very Bible says, through my faith, you can be healed. And I'm hearing a lot of churches now that are saying God doesn't heal anymore because he's taken that gift away. He don't want to do it. When bottom line is, yes, he does. I don't want a God that's like, yeah, I can do it, but never mind. You're on your own for a while, a few hundred years.
I know.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. So my God doesn't do that. And I've seen healing. I've been part of it. And that's when I went, no, got to check out here. We're done. I'm done. I'm not going to let somebody convince me or my children that miracles can't happen, because they can.
Amen to that. Now, what would, do you think that we could talk you into giving, can you do like a group card? Like what would be good for all the viewers that are watching right now? What do we all really need to hear, to feel, to see, to do? Just like what do the cards have for us, baby? I'm
going to do two. And this one was a deck that was gifted to me. This is an oracle deck, and it's for just these types of situations. And those of y'all who come into Tarot with an Attitude in the morning or have watched it on the replay, y'all have seen me use this deck, and y'all know I've fallen in love with it over the past couple of weeks. It's called Postcards from Spirit. Okay. And so we're talking. And so again, I'm going to ask Heavenly Father, Holy Mother, Angel, Spirit, my guides, Michael, Ishmael, Leonardo, please step forward. I feel Ariel, the angel, is present. Please, I want to make sure that the postcard that comes is your message to this audience. What does this audience need to know? So mote it be. So here we go. This one, I love these cards. There's an actual message that I just read, and these are good for a lot of general things. Dearest you, here we go. Sometimes it's wonderful to give, but there are times you might find yourself overgiving. You don't hear that too much, okay? Now might be a good time to check in and see where you might be cutting off the flow of abundance. Let others give to you, even if you are more comfortable being generous and being the giver, the healer, the rescuer. In the art of living, I love that, the art of living, okay? We sometimes overlook an important skill, receiving gracefully and with gratitude, without diminishing yourself or trying to deny vulnerability or bringing an agenda of equality to it. Receiving is hard for some people, maybe you. You do not need a this for that in your exchange with others. You are doing good in the world. Let the world give back and support you. Then you can give up the old stories that have you convinced you have to do everything alone with no help. Let your well be filled. We all love you so much. Folks, this is huge. We all want to be the giver. Most of us want to be the rescuer. But you know what? A lot of times people want to help you, and you're robbing them of a blessing by going, nope, it's okay. Let somebody help you. Okay? It's karma in and of itself. Maybe they're trying to put some karma in the bank. So that's the message that I got there, is so many of us are so staunch and so, I don't need help. I'm good. We all need help. You know what? The hardest thing to say is when somebody asks you okay? Hardest word is to go, no, I'm not. Okay? That's what we're saying. There are people here that need help. There are people, let people help you. And you know what? You get recharged, they get recharged, and now everything's on a high vibrational energy. So that's what I've got there.
Fantastic.
Okay.
That was a great message.
I love those cards. Okay. Now I'll go to an actual tarot deck and say, what does everybody need to know about learning to receive? We all need to, we're all like, oh, everybody's telling us what I need to learn to give. What do I need to learn to give? Some of you need to learn to say no. I've given enough. I need to be healed. I need to heal and allow people to help you. So what's the joy in that? Where is the power in receiving? And wow. 9 of Ariel, this is the angel deck that I brought with me. Okay, Ariel is the angel. This is about bringing things to life in your real world. By allowing yourself to be helped, by letting someone else help you, the joy that comes in is that you're allowed to bring things into your life and help manifest them. If you look on this card, it's kind of hard to see. On the banner is the tree of life. It's the angel wings. And this beautiful angel is just flying. Everything is great. Things are coming to completion. Folks, what this is saying is if you allow people the joy of giving to you, it's going to help you manifest and bring things in. Kathy?
Wow.
That's how we start our day on Tarot with an Attitude.
That's just how you do it. That's outstanding. That is rocking and rolling. And I'm not talking about holy rolling either. I mean, that is the way to go. Now, do you have what was I going to say? Do you have all the symbols, like do you have all this stuff memorized?
There's some basics I have memorized. The crystals, a lot of times I will pick up the phone and call my wife because again, I had a stroke when I was 40. And I could do that, phone in this hand. Remember, as we all get older, now I'll literally get hung up and it takes more of my brain capacity. I will see a word and get hung up on it. I can't remember as much as I used to. That's the reason intuition for me when I'm doing this reading is so important because I can remember some basics, but then to get everything I just got out of pulling that pink card, I have to listen. I have to listen to the message and then I just say what I'm being told, what I'm feeling, things like that. So there are some basics. I'm in the process actually of writing a book, trying to come up with a name for it, One Day to Read Tarot. It's just to get you started, but it's about the numbers, it's about the suits, it's about different things. So I am trying to help people on that path to do that. And as soon as it comes out, I'll let you know.
Well, that's exciting. Now, here's another thing. Like, can anybody just go out and get a deck of tarot cards and read tarot?
Damn Skippy.
Really?
Absolutely. Because again, this is one thing I want people to know. I want you to connect to spirit to the point because I need more healers, more light seers, more people out there that are on the high vibrational. This is not something that's just been gifted to a few people. We are all born, folks, with intuition. It's part of us. We squeak it out, okay? Adulting sucks. We adult it out of us. We start second guessing, oh, that can't be real. This is what, we start listening to other people because I can't be right, okay? We all second guess ourselves. With this, yes, you can, but it is a requirement that if you're going to do it, you're going to have to be good at it, to really understand it, to have confidence with it. It's just like any other talent. You need to practice it.
And what do you say to the folks, and they do, and they will, and they probably always will say that that's demonic?
Yeah, take what you want, leave what you don't. Okay. I find it funny because again, they were trained to think that way. If you think about it, somebody had to tell them it's demonic. Okay. You didn't come up as a child going, tarot's bad. No, somebody told you as a child tarot is bad. The irony of this and what I do and what I want people to see, do you remember how I start my prayer? Heavenly Father. I'm praying to the same God they do. Okay. But I also believe, and it's in the Bible, but I call it the straights. The straights don't want to mention the part about the femininity of God and the female side of God. So we talk about God the Father, but I know there's a God the Mother too. I believe in God the Son. I believe in God the Holy Spirit, but I believe they all given us the energy, archangels, angels, spirit guides. There are people here to help us through. My God did not go, hey, watch this, fat boy. Go enjoy this for 70 plus years and let's see how you do. No, he didn't. He gave me guides. He gave me places to go for help. We just don't go there enough. So everybody can do this. Everybody can attach to it. It's something I want people to learn. Okay.
You know what always gets me about the mother and the father part, because, just growing up in that, whether I don't care what, but there's always God, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And I'm like, talk about a dysfunctional family. Where's the mom? Where's mom? And it's like, and you talk about, you have to have a family with a real family is a mother and a father, but where's the mom?
And why, and here was another question, why, if we're going to go off the biblical story of Adam and Eve, who was supposedly created to be a helpmate and to be a companion to Adam, if God is all masculine and only masculine, and he made Adam in his likeness, where did he dream up boobs? Where did he dream up the differences in? Why did he think, hey, Adam's going to like this? Because it's not. God is God. There's feminine, there's power, there's masculine, and I don't fear saying that. And
why do you think they did that to us, Rob? Why do you think they lied about? Why did they?
I'll be quite honest with you. It's a male chauvinist crap thing. To keep people under control, to keep the church in control, particularly the Catholic Church at some point. And sorry if y'all are, but again, studied world religions. I watched and I don't think she'd mind me sharing this, my daughter go through a divorce. And it was a good thing they were in Seattle, because I was flying out, and me and her husband were going to have a wreck. And my sons were all like, no, you're not going. We'll talk her in. So she got here, and he was mentally abusing her. He was not physically abusing her. She would have kicked his ass if he'd have done that. But in trying to do the whole church thing, they were so wrapped in the church, she got here and she decided, well, let me go to the youth minister here and decide if we should get a divorce. That jackass decided to tell her, well, what you should do is you should wait to see if he asks for the divorce. If he asks for the divorce, then it's a sign from God that you should go ahead and file for the divorce. I went off the rails. About you tell that little male chauvinist son of a bitch, I'm fixing to come see him more than I see your husband. I raised a stronger woman than that. Mm-hmm. And once I got on her, I said, they're just trying to control femininity. If you think about it, why was it always okay in religions for men to have wife after wife after wife after wife?
Yeah.
It's crap. It's crap. So ladies, from a man, that's crap. Okay. And some of this is the church trying to dictate, because again, there's just craziness. Take what you want, leave what you don't. Okay. And I've been divorced more than once. I won't even go into the numbers. Okay. But one of the things I'm proud of is I taught my first marriage. We were young. I grew up way too fast. I was 19. 20, I became a police officer. I wasn't even old enough to buy ammo. I was out. My partner was 35. My wife was still at home being 19. We were doomed. We were doomed. Okay. So I have problems that I have to carry with me there. But at the same point, as I went through different things, every one of their families loved me. My ex-wives, their families loved me. And it's one of those things where we didn't have any problems in the divorces. Here you go. This is stuff. It doesn't matter. What matters is kids and happiness. I want my kids to understand. Don't you ever stay in a relationship where somebody's not respecting you, where somebody's hurting you, where somebody's demeaning you. It can come in so many ways. No, they're not going to learn that shit from me.
So what do you have to say about with that there? I'm just
sorry, you get me on a rant.
No, with that, I'm just thinking, it made me think, what about the people that what God has joined together, let no man put asunder.
Oh, dear God,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. And you know what? Some of those words are actually interpretation by men, okay? They were not, let no man put asunder. That's not in the Bible, okay? Not that I'm aware of in all of my studies, okay? That was a man-made sentence. Now, God does bless, and the Bible, which was written by all men, was, see where I'm going? No, I'm not bitter at all. Okay. What I say is, yes, we make a promise. You need to keep that promise. You don't turn and run at the first sign of trouble. You try. Okay. But at the same point, life is short. We've got enough going on in this world. Okay. Be happy. I want my kids to be happy. I want them to see me being happy. I want my wife to be happy. And if you ain't happy with me, here, babe, let me help you out. Okay? Go find somebody else. Maybe they're a sadomasochist and they enjoy your shit. I do not. Okay? So it's one of those things, though, and I do a lot of this in laughter because I just want people to think. You've got to understand, if we believe in the God that I do, he does not want us miserable. You got to remember, I don't believe that the Bible in and of itself is the actual I was raised up. It's the inspired divine word of God, okay? That it can't be changed, the King James Version. Many of you have heard all this, things like that. I don't believe that. I believe it is a great book, and it is a spiritual book, and it is to be discerned, and we can learn a great path from it. But again, it is a book written by men telling women how to live, how all of us to live our lives in a time, and we're trusting that it was interpreted correctly. And my first answer to that, where I go, I don't think so, the King James Bible that the Baptists, Pentecostals, that end of religion uses, we're missing 2 chapters or 2 actual books that the Catholics have that we don't. But it's supposed to be a translation of the Catholics. So there's stuff in there where I'm going, yeah, no. Just lighten up, okay? Think about it. My God is love. Yes, he is an angry God, and he will do anger. And that's the reason energy is positive. It's negative. You put it out there, you're going to get it back. I believe in karmic flow. I believe that's of God and of the universe. But this is one of those things where, folks, life is short. Don't let somebody tell you where your happiness lies. It's a form of control.
There you go. Well, I cannot believe. I feel like we just sat down, and it's what a fast and interesting and eye-opening 60 minutes. I got to ask you one more thing, though.
Sure. Can I answer a question in here real quick?
Oh, certainly. Please do. Which one?
The tipinator. So if you're intuitive, you think it would be like another tool, like a pendulum. Yeah, like the one I've got hanging around my neck. I use pendulums all the time and just taught a pendulum class. My wife made this for me. It is a necklace that I can break down, and it's used as a pendulum. Okay. It's another divination tool. Anything that you can personally use, anything that you can connect with, the tipinator, as long as you're getting your message from the light, you're not trying to draw from, I find it funny when people say, oh, it's of the dark, and we automatically say dark is bad. Okay. Where did that come from? Some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen have been in the darkest night when the stars are out and the comets are going and different things. Okay. Dark is not always bad. All right. But you're looking for the light in the darkness. You're not seeking evil. You're not seeking bad. If I'm asking and coming from a place of light, any of these tools can work. And God, I give my God more power than most people do. He can talk to me through anything. So
is that kind of like a survival pendulum? It's like it's a necklace and a pendulum, and you got your handy dandy little tools there with you.
Yeah, it stays with me all the time. I wear it. I wear this is more crystals, lapis lazuli. It helps me for my perception, for my intuition to stay in tune. My wife developed this for me because a lot of the darker crystals you see on here are protection. So when it's around me, when I'm dealing with people in my practice and things like that, it helps against negative energy. But then when I'm holding it down here, they're all chakra stones. So they help me stay in alignment. They help me get in tune. And then I can ask it questions, and I ask the spirit questions, and it will move it and give me answers. Okay. The spirit gives me answers using it. So we'll go. I tell you what, we'll come back for another show. We'll do.
No, I'd like to do just one of those. Does anybody have a question? Please ask Rob a question that he can use his pendulum.
I'll give you an example. Bridget and Bruce and I were at a restaurant with my wife, and she realized one of her, I think it was a diamond earring, was missing. And we stepped outside because we had eaten dinner. We were done. And I brought my pendulum off, and I'm like, is the pendulum out here? Because we've been sitting outside for a while. And it told me no. Then I asked, is her diamond, is her earring inside? And it said no. And then I said, is it at home? Did she have it on when she got here? So is it somewhere at home? And it told me yes. And she's a firm believer and has watched me work this, went home. And literally they found it in the shower. She lost it before she ever got there. So she went right home and went right in and found it. So there are things that we can do that we're not supposed to go through all this alone. You have guidance. You have different things.
We just have to be open to it. And a lot, I've just learned so much in the past year. It's incredible what I've learned. And I have a lot to learn. I think we're all still learning. And
there's so much magic out there that is light. It is good. We're meant to tap into it. We are meant to heal. We are meant to make miracles happen. Through my faith, ye shall be healed. If the faith of a child, we could move mountains. The faith of a grain of mustard seed. The very Bible that they tell me everything I'm saying is wrong is telling me I'm right. So that's what I want people to see. Question, ask.
Oh, this is a great question, Rob.
Okay. Where's this one? What do we got here?
It's a real question.
Okay. Will the stimulus checks be more than we are expecting? Okay, that one's kind of broad. Let me go. So what I'm going to do here, all right, would you go ahead and take the question down so I can see this? There we go. All right. So I'm going to stop it. Now, this might freak some people out because once I get going, I don't stop it. It'll stop and move on its own. Kind of hard to tell on here. So I'm going to ask, first off, I'm going to ask the angels and the spirits to get close. I'm going to ask them, are you going to work with me through the pendulum today? And there it's going, yes. Okay, I have a yes. And I've already know what yes and no is and things like that. See how much it's actually swinging now? Okay. So I'm going to ask, do you need cleaning right now before I use you? And I give it a minute, and it's going to come to a stop. And now it's telling me no. Okay. So it's good to go. We're good to go. So the question is, people are worried about their stimulus checks. They want to make sure. So the question is, are the stimulus checks going to be, well, see, and I don't know what this person's expecting. So as a whole, is the stimulus check going to be more than what people are expecting? And no. Now, in my mind, I just read about that a little bit. It's about $1,400, but you know, depending on your family, how that works. But this actually just said no. So let me ask it again. Are the stimulus checks going to be more than people are expecting? Here it goes. Nope. Nope. And when I ask the same question a couple times, they get like a little annoyed. Like, I gave you an answer. Don't bug me. You know, kind of like keep coming to God, you know.
Yeah.
Let me find a man. Let me find a man. Let me find a woman. Let me find a woman. And then you're dating the first thing that comes along that treats you like shit. And then you're like, God, what'd I do wrong? You didn't listen. Okay. You didn't give me a chance to do something for you, you know? So, yeah. So that's the pendulum. We'll do more.
That was certainly an enlightening and beautiful, always a good time with Rob, because I like his attitude. You know, he might have an attitude, but I think it's a pretty good attitude. He means well. He's got love in his heart. And I know y'all, what does it say? Stimulus. Yes.
There we go.
All right.
Bob, I see you said that earlier today a person was asking about finding something, and I don't think he got to her. Man, a lot of people are asking questions today, and I didn't get to. There's a lot of times I don't get to it. And that's why I tell people my morning thing is great for some guidance, but I really, www.tarotwithanattitude is how people can book sessions with me. Kathy will tell you, I can go into so much more detail if you give me the time. Okay. But trying to do it on a quick fly.
Yeah, that's definitely, I can definitely, there's a lot. I mean, it was amazing, and it was longer than an hour, and it was just like, it was intense. And it was like, wow. And it was intense, but it made sense. And then it's something that you really, if you're interested and you want to learn more, I mean, you really need to hook up with Rob on this one. You really do. And I know his show is great. We all love it, but you want to get some personal, up close and personal attitude. Here's the guy right here.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Shannon.
Rob,
I appreciate it.
Anything else? I'm going to close this out because it's about 108.
Hemp works. Yes. It's meant so much to me. It's helped me. I'm losing weight. I'm down a whole shirt size. Listen to Kathy with what she's telling you. Folks, if anything I can tell you, it's
how much weight have you lost?
Self-aware. Honestly, I don't know. I stopped dieting. I just watch what I eat. I'm more aware of it. I'm pushing food away. I'm fuller sooner. I don't drink sodas anymore, different things. It's just made me aware, self-aware. So if you're trying to get there, HempWorks will help you get there too, and just making you self-aware. It gets all the crap out of your system.
You know what? Would you mind doing one thing? Because this is it. This is going to be it. This is it. All right. This is it.
All right. Let me look here. Let me see what's going on. All right. The Tippinator. I'm going to pull a deck called the Line Strider deck out tonight. It's a different deck. And I brought it and hadn't used it. And I think I'm being told this is why.
And Rob, this is Tippinator's name is Tracy as well.
All right. Thank you. All right. Tracy, the Tippinator. I like that. All right. So again, I'm going to ask God, Holy Spirit, please, Tracy, the Tippinator, please make sure that the message is coming. Have the guides pull close, angels pull close. let me open. I'm going to take a moment to breathe so I can settle down. I get excited about some of these things, but please have the message come from you, not from me. So mote it be. There we go. All right, here we go. The tipping. And just so y'all know, when I focus, a lot of times I'm looking right at your little emblem on your YouTube thing, so I can kind of get there. Tracy, if you're feeling goosebumps right now, one of my guides just left, and I think they're coming to you for a little bit. Let me know. Here we are. Okay, so they're still with you. You've got angels and spirit guides with you. So, all right. Whoa. Okay, it's coming back. Coming back. Here we go. Pulling 2 cards. All right. Both of these are coming up reversed, which means it's a direct message to you about you, not your external world. This is about what's coming to you. And it's the Wheel of Fortune, and you need to be ready for change. Change is, you can't stop it. Things are happening. World turns, what's that old soap opera as the world turns? Okay. Things are changing in your life. This is the broad scope. Some things are good. Some things are bad. Some things are good. Some things are bad. That's what's going to happen. You've got to learn to deal with the cyclical part of life on your inside. That's the scope of this. But in doing it, you have to take control. This is the King of Swords. Swords are all about the mental, the logical, the absolute conscious. You are making decisions, and it wants you to take control. There might even be a strong father figure, somebody in your life that is giving you ideas. But what I'm seeing here is you need to listen to yourself. Take control of your thoughts. Be the king of your kingdom, particularly in the spiritual world. You need to understand that this king will lead you. The king is the part of you that is the King Arthur figure that lies within each and every one of us. Tracy, this king, you need to realize you are totally capable of making the decisions that you're worried about. There's something going on with decisions that you're worried about. Take charge of it. And will they stop the jab before more are hurt? Yes. So here we go. That's what I'm getting for you on a quick one. That King of Swords, take control of your mind. Take control. Let thoughts come. Let them go. This will decide which seed to plant. Embrace change. Know what it is. And then that's going to give you more power to handle it. So
wow. That sounded pretty intense to me. For somebody else, that's incredible. So
yeah,
thank you for that.
Yeah, and can I answer one last question? I love
certainly.
Shannon, how hard is it to create a deck? It is immensely hard, because not only do you have to do artwork that's not copyrighted, you have to have, you've got to concentrate on a tarot deck. There's 78 different cards. So you've got to sit down, come up with your own meaning, your own way these will work, and then the way you want to picture that deck. So I appreciate that you asked that question, because coming up a week from today, okay, I should have brought it in. There's a deck called the Ark. It's all animals. It's awesome. The artwork is beautiful. The lady whose name is Bernadette developed the deck, okay? I'm going to be interviewing her next Thursday at 9:00 in the morning live. So make sure you're there, and you can ask her what goes into making decks, because she's also got another one coming out on Kickstarter. So very valid question. It is hard. I've got a couple ideas in my head, but we're just trying to get them to gain traction.
Wow.
So there we go. I promise I won't pick on anybody else anymore.
You've been so generous with your time, because I know that your time is limited. So thanks for staying extra with us. We love you. We appreciate you.
Kathy, I love you too, very much. Okay.
We've had a beautiful evening. Thank you all so much. You get your hemp works if you haven't. It's a life changer. It really does. And the one I'm doing on here on the end, this is the real me. This is the real deal coming up. And where is it? Right here. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful evening. I see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock. It's Friday, so we get an hour to sleep in. We don't have to do the 5 a.m. And I'll see you in the morning. Have a blessed day. And don't forget Rob at 9 o'clock. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful evening.
Peace, love, and light.
Yeah, it's Wednesday, February 4th, 2021. I'm 67 years old. I'm still doing landscaping because I have to, because of those things anyway. But I do really heavy work. I don't look behind me. That's a wheelbarrow full of 150 pounds of fertilizer, which I got to put out in that belly busting thing. And normally, any other time, if I weren't taking the HempWorks CBD, I wouldn't be able to move at the end of the day. So I'm telling you, it really works. It's really real. It's HempWorks, like with an X, like Kathy with a K. It's good stuff.
Everywhere you look, people are talking about CBD. That's why it's such an exciting time to experience HempWorks, the best-selling, most in-demand line of premium CBD oil and CBD products for your health and wellness. Founded by entrepreneur, executive, and business coach Janice Wagle, HempWorks premium quality standards can be found from the top down and across the organization. From hemp farms to clean extraction methods to safe bottling, every step in our production process is vetted, monitored, and traceable, literally from the ground up. Thanks to our unique tracking system on the side of every HempWorks CBD tincture, we can track each batch of CBD oil all the way back to the farm it came from, all to ensure that you and your business are offering safe, effective, and high-grade CBD products. Including CBD tinctures, topicals, and soft gels, botanical face masks, hemp-based hair and body care products, CBD bath bombs, CBD fruit gummies, CBD coffee, even CBD products that are good for your pets. Recognized by the U.S. Hemp Authority Seal of Approval, HempWorks isn't just the CBD leader in product quality, variety, and innovation. We're actually helping to build a safer hemp industry from seed to shelf. Learn more and become an affiliate today